Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates. We got some awesome stuff coming down the road this week, so stick around guys to find out what's happening. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkill's tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. Okay guys, so first a quick update with the channel. So you guys going to see that the video content is a little sporadic. It's going to be sort of bouncing up and down a little bit more this week as I am working very, very hard to finally get the Overkill's G1000 NXI tutorial guide out and released to everybody on Patreon. Unfortunately, I had it completed and something happened and it got corrupt and I literally had to start the damn thing all over again. It sucked. Anyway, so been working on that. That's why I'm a little in and out when it comes to the videos. We've also got some new hardware we're going to be checking out, as well as some further software changes that you guys are going to be hopefully enjoying throughout the week. Got some updates to the cockpit I want to show you guys. That's going to be a lot of fun to give you guys some pretty cool ideas that you can do at home for a pretty fair price. There's been some pretty cool stuff that I've been discovering. I picked up Air Manager, so I've been playing around with that. I'm going to show you guys what my thoughts are on that later in the week after I've messed around with it for a little bit. I'm trying to learn how to create custom panels so that way I can show you guys how to sort of set things up in a way that you like that's beneficial to all of your aircraft experiences. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel. There is still a lot coming this week. It just might be, you might see 3 videos one day, none the next, but trust me, there's a lot coming, guys. I'm trying really hard to get a good balance and get back into the swing of things. I know the last few months, especially for Patreon, has been really quiet. Guys, I have not forgotten about it. I am trying desperately hard to get back into the swing of things and get things going on a smooth schedule. We have the Cessna Citation Longitude guide that's going to be updated. The TBM 930 guide needs to be updated. And then probably the 737 will follow after that, as well as the A320. A320 seen a lot of development changes. So we got a lot of things that are going to be happening. And I am working very hard to develop a schedule that's going to fit everything in comfortably. That's the one thing about this whole experience is it does get a bit overwhelming sometimes when you still have the whole family life and the old 9-to-5 job. So bear with me, guys. I wish YouTube was my only job, but it is not. And that doesn't help either, is that the old 9-to-5 has been very, very busy as well. And unfortunately, I am in a line of work where it doesn't stop at 5 o'clock whether I want it to or not. Sometimes I'm working into the middle of the night, so it really depends. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the rest of the video, guys. Bear with me if you guys hear my voice or hear me crackling a little bit. I am also recovering from a cold on top of everything else, so just bear with me and all that. But let's go ahead and get into the rest of the flight simulator news for today. One of the neatest things that I have seen yet in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I'm sure you guys have already heard from plenty of sources that the AN-225 is coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator. In cooperation with AnyBuilds, Asobo, and Anatov themselves, the AN-225 has been developed for Microsoft Flight Simulator and is going to be landing in your simulations on February the 27th. Now, this will be a $20 purchase for this aircraft, but here is the part that really got me. Here's the part that I love. All proceeds that are purchased in or that are brought in from the purchase of the AN-225 for Microsoft Flight Simulator are going to go back to Anatov and be dedicated to the development and reproduction of the AN-225 that was lost in the Ukrainian-Russian wars. So really, really awesome stuff. You guys are actually all of us are going to have the ability to do a small donation. Essentially is what this is going to turn out to, of $20, and that $20, your money is going to be directly supporting the rebuild of the AN-225 in Ukraine. So you guys are actually going to help with the construction of a real-world 225. I think that's too cool. That is a neat undertaking. I think it's a wonderful statement that the flight simulation community has the ability to step on above just flying, and we can actually contribute to the production of a real-world iconic aircraft. I was already thrilled to death when I heard that they were going to rebuild this aircraft. That meant a lot. I think it's one of those aircraft that needs to be rebuilt, especially in the horrific way in which it was lost. There was no reason for it to be targeted, in my personal opinion, and it was just... you guys know all the things that have happened in Ukraine are unnecessary, so let's just call that what it is. But it's really awesome to hear that we're going to see this aircraft fly once again and hopefully be a bit more modernized. I think that's a great opportunity for them as well. Trying to find the good in the horrible, and that's we'll see a brand new 225 at some point in the near future, I would hope. Well, maybe not the near future, but in the future. And we get to directly contribute to that. I think any builds and Asobo and Anatov all get some really awesome credit for this, for putting this together. The fact that all proceeds, that means that all the time that's being developed for the aircraft itself, that means that's all donated time. And again, February 27th, right around the corner. Now, I'm not going to assume what kind of flight model or things like that we're going to get. I know that in the latest Asobo development video live stream, at just over an hour, you guys can go into that video and see what the development looks like for the aircraft. I know much of the taxiing and the overall handling of the aircraft has been modeled in the simulator, so we're going to get to experience a lot of what they would in the real aircraft. And they've done a really great job as far as focusing on the significant size of this aircraft. So it's not going to feel like we're taxiing just a 747 or A320. They've really done a great job in incorporating the massive size of this aircraft into the simulator, so we can get as close to that experience in real world as we would as possible. So again, I am blown away that they are giving all the proceeds away to the reconstruction of this beautiful plane in the real world. So awesome stuff. I hope you guys are going to grab it, if for no other reason than to help them rebuild this thing, because I'm definitely going to. And plus, I want to try to fly. It's right up there with the Spruce Goose, if for no other reason than just to say I did it, you know? CowanSim strikes again with the 500E helicopter. I'm sure you guys have already seen a bunch of videos on this particular bird. Now, one of the things that I want to make sure is very clear to anyone who might be watching this considering buying it is it is currently considered an early access release. Now, they've still done a great job in making sure that the flight dynamics and performance of the aircraft has been zeroed in, quote unquote, by real world pilots. So they did have, again, real world references and a real world experience involved in the development of this particular helicopter. So that's a very, very awesome thing. That's always good to hear that real world experience has been added into it. Those kind of tweaks are important. Now, you will see things such as a searchlight and as well as a cinematic camera dynamic that will be added later on, as well as a few other things. It does come with floats, over 40 liveries that are included with it. You can pick this up for $32.99 from the Cowan Simulations website direct, which I prefer. I prefer the direct buys over the marketplace. I know there's some sort of back and forth on that. Marketplace, yes, does make things a bit easier to keep them updated, but in my personal opinion, you wait quite a bit longer. And for me, it's just I would much rather rely on the developer than anything else. So, you know, that's just my thoughts on that. Now, the really cool thing about this particular helicopter is it's got a cruising speed of 135 knots, guys. That's pretty damn quick for a helicopter. Now, not to say it's the fastest like that, but you're definitely going to feel that one. That's going to be a lot of fun to cruise around. You can definitely do some pretty fun hops with this aircraft. I have seen videos of people going inverted with this thing and really having a great time with it. We will be picking this up and showcasing this on the channel this week. It's one of the things that's definitely on the list, as well as the SimWorks RV10. We're going to be checking that out as well. So keep in mind, you guys are going to see this aircraft live on the channel if you guys are interested. So again, $32.99. I was really impressed with their 206, guys. So they have given absolutely no reason to suggest that the aircraft isn't going to be just as good as the 206 was. There's a lot of debate on the 206 between the fly-in side and the CowanSim, but really it's going to come down to preferences. And these guys have definitely made a mark, for me at least, as far as their simulation experience and what they provide, which is why I have absolutely no problem stating that I am absolutely going to be purchasing this and showcasing this on the channel. So stick around for that, guys. Very light information on this, but SimWorks Studios partnering up with FS Reborn to do a Boeing 727 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Again, details were very, very light on it, but in the live stream that they released, or that they did, I should say, they did provide a bit of information stating that they are going to make sure that they quote unquote do it right. So that's very good information and a very good standpoint right coming out of the gate with this particular aircraft, showing that they have the intentions of really making it as highly modeled as they can. Do it right to me, and anyone who's going to use those words definitely knows what that means from an end user experience. Do it right means we're going to expect a highly detailed flight model, functioning avionics, and a very accurate cockpit system. So looking forward to this one. Again, this is one that I will absolutely love to see because it's a whole different dynamic. It's a pusher instead of you got your engines in the back, right? We got the tri-engine, which is going to be something completely different from what we've seen yet in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And if they really nail it down and bring the graphics and the texturing to what Microsoft Flight Simulator can provide, it will be the most updated version of a 727 that you guys can see on the simulation market today. And with the Microsoft Flight Simulator definitely being on a pretty good streak as far as its updates, Sim Update 12 already being talked about and already being scheduled, it's a good chance that we're going to see a very, very good rendition of this aircraft. SimWorks Studios has already done some fantastic work. They brought us the Kodiak 100, the RV-10, and a bunch of other aircraft, and they've all gotten great reviews. To see that they're involved, FS Reborn, I don't know a whole lot about, but I have no reason to assume otherwise. To be partnering up with such a great team as SimWorks Studios, there's no reason to believe that SimWorks obviously would corroborate with somebody who wasn't up to their par. So I know FS Reborn isn't necessarily new to the scene. I just don't know enough about them. But to see the two paired up together is a really good sign, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't think either one of these developers has any intention of letting down that "do it right" statement. So something cool to look forward to. And as more information becomes available, you guys know darn well I will be sharing it with you. The Sky4Sim flight pad that I have shown you guys before on this channel, I do own it, has been updated. We're going to be taking a look at some of those updates again later on in the week as I get that into the schedule here. This is a very awesome flight pad that I have really enjoyed right from the start. It has a ton of already previously existing features, such as a very awesome flight plan creation utility, everything from your charts, the ability to import PDFs or visual documents that you may need, images, whatever they may be, that you can pull directly from the simulator. It's compatible with virtual reality. You can control a lot from it. But in this most recent update, they've really gone above and beyond and created an integration directly with the working title avionics framework, meaning that now flight plans created directly from the Sky4Sim pad can actually be imported into the working title avionics system, such as the G3000. Now, why is that a big deal? That means that you can use the very awesome satellite imagery map that comes with the Sky4Sim pad, use it to create your VFR flight plan, and then have that flight plan imported directly into the G3000 avionics. The other thing that they did is they created a top of descent calculator. Now, that top of descent calculator, we've seen a bunch of those before, right? No big deal. This one actually is a big deal because one of the neat things about them being able to integrate with the avionics suite is you're actually going to get live performance data from the aircraft, current configuration, current state, that's going to be used to create that calculation. So your calculation isn't going to be just, okay, so you're 10 miles away, you want to descend to X altitude, here's what you should estimate it at. It's actually going to give you exact numbers that are going to be calculated based on your aircraft's current altitude, airspeed, etc., right? Performance. And then as you change those, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Gosh darn it, somebody's screaming at me. Those details, that's not the word I want, but you guys know what I'm thinking. As you change those configurations, if you will, your descent profile will also change. And again, that can create a direct import to the avionics system in Microsoft Flight Simulator using the working title integration. So that's a fantastic integration. That is a wonderful integration. To be able to import your flight plans directly in to your avionics suite is pretty awesome, because that means you don't have to rely on the pad itself, and you can actually fly it as you normally would. You create your flight plan using the pad and using those visual aids, and then drop it into your working title integration. So really sweet, guys. This is a very, very awesome application. I highly recommend it. I recommended it multiple times before in the past. I actually haven't used it in a while, and I'm kind of glad that I saw this, because I'm going to get back into it, especially with the new cockpit build, which I can't wait to show you guys. Anyways, so make sure you guys check that out. That's Sky4Sim. They have their own website, and you can purchase the tablet from there. Just Flight is bringing the Avro Vulcan to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, this is going to be a port from P3D. However, first off, we know Just Flight, they do some fantastic work. They're not just going to leave us hanging with some archaic developments. So they have already stated that the aircraft is going to receive a massive update and bringing it up to the standards and requirements to be an acceptable aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This means textures, flight model, avionics, etc. Now, I believe this is not in any way supposed to be a quote-unquote, here it comes, study level aircraft. Just going to be a fun aircraft with a basic flight model, something that's going to be a lot of fun to fly around. This is a very, very unique aircraft and very, very different looking aircraft. This is one of those ones that I've actually seen fly one time, and it's a goofy looking airplane to see it, and at the same time it looks really cool. Like it's sort of got that mixture of both. So again, it's going to be another fun military aircraft to see. It is I believe is meant as a long range strategic bomber. So you guys are going to sort of get that aspect from the flight experience. It's not a fighter or anything like that. It's definitely going to be your slow and steady kind of aircraft, but it's got some pretty significant capability that it was designed for. And it definitely, for no other reason, a very unique visual characteristic. It's one of those aircraft that you can't mistake when you see it. It's kind of like the same principle as like a B-2 Spirit. When you see it, you know that you're seeing it. Very large, very big aircraft, and again, with that delta wing configuration, stands out like a sore thumb, or in this case, a very beautiful thumb. Last up, we have another update from PMDG on the 737-900 and the 900ER. First off, they are going to be releasing sometime, I believe it was next week, and we can expect to see them as a package. The 900 series will be sold again as a package, so if you buy the 900, you're also getting the 900ER. So, as far as me personally, I haven't decided if I'm going to be picking this one up yet. I already enjoy the 737-800 and the 700. I have absolutely no problems with them whatsoever. They sort of suit my 737 needs as is. So I guess it really would depend on the price point, and I believe the price point is supposed to be somewhere between those two as far as what that's actually going to finally look like. I don't have an exact number on that yet. The more important thing that I was kind of disappointed to hear is that, you know, we had heard in the past that the Universal Flight Tablet was supposed to be released with the 900 series aircraft. Unfortunately, that has once again been delayed. Now, I'm not necessarily knocking them for it. The developer did do a very good job as far as stating the reasons why, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I still appreciate PMDG, is even in the face of yet another delay to the tablet, they are still being very open with their communication, and unfortunately, because of some C++ and WASM coding changes that is used in Microsoft Flight Simulator, they are actually having to create a their own link between the tablets amongst the varying aircraft. So again, the idea is a universal tablet that will function all of their aircraft series, and because of some coding changes on the back ends, they're having to develop their own link to the aircraft that runs independently of Microsoft Flight Simulator, which means it has to be built from the ground up. So not necessarily knocking them from that. It's kind of bumming out to hear it because these aircraft definitely would shine with a new EFB. It's definitely time for one. And the EFBs are so handy, especially in the commercial aircraft. They really do make a difference, especially when it comes to the startup process and you know, entering your flight plan information, all that good jazz. But we've lived this long without them. They're still fantastic aircraft. I'm never, ever going to put PMDG down. In my opinion, they are still one of the best developers. And even if they take a bit more time, it's always exciting when their aircraft do get released. So, hope that things smooth out for them. I hope that they find a very easy road to create their integration that they're looking for, so we can get that particular piece up and moving for our simulation experience. All right, my friends, well, that is going to wrap up yet another video for news and updates. We're going to have another video coming out later this evening where we're going to be doing some flying. We actually have quite a few flight videos coming up. I'm also going to be showcasing some DCS World guys, especially in the YouTube shorts, so make sure that you guys look out for that. You may find yourselves, guys, that DCS World has a bunch of features outside of just combat that really makes it shine. So I'm going to showcase some of those things this week and see if you guys are interested in possibly migrating on over. I am an avid believer that if you like general aviation, you like Microsoft Flight Simulator, you like the complexity of it, you will definitely like the complexity of DCS World. My favorite thing I think about DCS World and where it really shines, in my personal opinion, is the Warbirds. The Warbirds in DCS World are just an absolute blast to fly your World War II aircraft. And there's quite a few more hopefully coming this year. Even the Corsairs, hopefully finally going to make its debut into DCS World. Been waiting on that one for a long time. So stick around for some of those videos, guys. If for no other reason, hopefully to bring you some cool stuff to watch when you're bored. Got to be good for something, right? As always, guys, stay safe and healthy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next one.